Bitcoin hit $106,000 this morning, which of course is a new all-time high. As a result, the rest of the crypto market pumped as well. However, some of the stronger altcoins actually pumped the hardest as a result. New all-time highs are being set pretty much all the time. It's a very exciting landscape right now. In particular, I'm going to be looking at 3 altcoins that are trending, and I want to take a look and evaluate why I feel they're going to keep pumping. We're going to look into their future potential in an analytical sense and ask the question as to whether or not you should get into them, or maybe to be a little bit more conservative, ask perhaps if they are nearing the end of their potential and their line. Last but not least, we're going to take a look at some good entry and exit points. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. Here is wishing you all the very best of luck if you choose to invest, and I mean that genuinely. But just remember that I am not a financial or investment advisor, which means that by extension, this video is not official financial or investment advice. Okay, first up on our list of altcoins here, we're considering ONDO. This very firmly places us in the RWA or real world assets space. And ONDO, of course, is one of the rulers here as well in terms of market cap. It's actually very close on Mantra's heels right now and has a chance in the near future, perhaps, to take over that first spot. And one of the reasons specifically that ONDO Finance is trending right now lies with Binance, because they recently purchased 600,000 ONDO, that's ONDO, which would suggest, doesn't guarantee, but it certainly suggests that a listing is imminent. And when Binance makes these kinds of moves, the rest of the market listens, certainly. Now, you can argue that ONDO is already listed on Coinbase. That's true. That is a big exchange. But Binance listings, whether it's justified or not, the fact of the matter is that they always manage to attract attention, more so than listings on other exchanges. And once listed, ONDO, again, ONDO, is going to get a massive boost. That's just the nature of the game. Then we also have Trump's World Liberty Finance. They also bought $250,000 worth of ONDO at $1.81. So certainly all of these reasons are factors, but I would argue that the main reason, almost certainly for the pump that we're seeing now, is the fact that ONDO is going to see a massive token unlock come the 18th of January 2025, so in just over a month. ONDO, let's remember, is a VC. That's a venture capital coin. And these coins do tend to pump before their unlocks. That's been a very consistent pattern in this space for VC projects. And the current supply of 1.45 billion tokens will more than double. So the 18th of January unlock is for no less, no fewer than 1.94 billion ONDO. This is 19.35% of the total supply. Or said differently, 135% of its current market cap. It's also a $4 billion unlock at its current price of $2.09. And for the next 3 years until 2028, we're going to see similar unlocks. Those are happening each year on the 18th of January. Now, if it dips, you can always buy the dip again. This is a benefit that our Altcoin Buzz Alpha members have received. By the way, our Alpha group called ONDO at $1.41. That was a short-term call. We make all kinds of such short-term calls. Some are longer term, obviously, but this is one where we saw a big opportunity. And right now, as I record, ONDO sits above $2 with a market cap of $2.9 billion. So that's nearly a 50% price increase right there and a 50% gain on that particular investment that we called. We are charging full steam ahead into the bull market. If you also want to consider becoming an Altcoin Buzz Alpha member and you can profit from our calls, check the link in the description below. Now, my personal opinion is that we're still in a good position here if you're considering to enter ONDO at its current price. The token price most likely is going to keep going up until the 18th of January, so in just over a month when we see that token unlock. Just make sure that you take profits by probably the 16th, maybe the 17th of January at the latest. All right, on now to SUI and its ecosystem. For this particular bull run that we're getting into now, SUI's kind of like the eternal flame. Today, it once again reached a new all-time high. This is almost becoming old news in the sense. I'm kind of parroting the same thing every time I say SUI's reached a new all-time high, but that's the reality. And today, the SUI token was really closing in on the $5 mark, which in many ways is the next big milestone. But the current all-time high at the time of this recording is $4.91 set earlier today in these last 24 hours. I don't want to toot our own horn too much, but I'll just briefly say that we called SUI at 77 cents in Altcoin Buzz Alpha. And it's almost hard to figure out a starting place in terms of talking about SUI because there's so much happening all the time with this project. But to set some order here, The recent news of Solana builders joining the Sui ecosystem was certainly a big one. Welcome to Phantom with 7 million monthly users and backpack wallets, by the way, which is another big announcement. That's also an exchange. Sui's TVL has surpassed $1.8 billion for the first time. Total DEX volume has exceeded $35 billion. This, by the way, includes a new 24-hour record for DEX volume. That's been set at $466 million. And Sui ranks number 3 in terms of net flows over the past 3 months, with nearly $1 billion flowing into the network. The Sui network hits over 7.5 billion transactions, and as you can see, Sui's DeFi truly is on fire, not only in terms of the Sui token price, but really all-time highs. If you consider the totality of these metrics, all-time highs are everywhere. Now, in terms of the Sui ecosystem, this has also been keeping up with the lightning pace of the rest of these numbers and metrics. And as such, correspondingly, we've seen lots of protocols that have seen some serious price increases and new all-time highs of their own. Let's start with Deepbook and its Deep DEEP token. This is Sui's liquidity layer, and most prominent Sui DeFi protocols use this as their backend. And Deep reached a new all-time high today, over 11 cents. It's up over 14% on the day. And if we zoom out, over 100% in the last 2 weeks. And then there's also the recent Bluefin or Blue BLUE and Sui Lend SEND airdrops. Those have also seen massive price appreciation in terms of their tokens. And let's not forget Sui Gaming, which is very important as a sector. Sui is ultra active in the gaming space. You may or may not have heard of their Sui Play 0x1. This is a handheld blockchain gaming console. As such, it's actually the first of its kind, so very revolutionary. And its launch should be in 2025. Pre-orders are open right now. We've already seen 5,000 copies being pre-sold already at a price tag of $599. Now, it could very well be a game changer for the gaming community, no pun intended. And besides all the possible games on this device, it's got some other perks as well. But this has rightfully been getting a lot of attention. And so in terms of those perks, again, by pre-ordering the device, you also qualify for various airdrops. There's Blue that I just mentioned, for example. That's Bluefin or SCA by Scallop. And there are also plenty of confirmed meme coin airdrops, if that's your thing. So FUD, Hippo, Lo-Fi, or how about 30 eggs by Aftermath? A lot of different options depending on what it is you're looking for. Then there's also Society, who launched on Polygon, but decided to transition over and move to Sui. You may want to look into their NFTs. We covered these the other day. E4C is another new game launching on Sui, and it connects Web 2 with Web 3. It's going to launch the mobile MOBA E4C game called Final Salvation. And its Ludus platform is going to allow for multi-platform access between handheld, PC, mobile, and other platforms as well. And check this out, because according to Van Eck, which obviously is one of the biggest asset managers out there, Sui's going to hit $10 in 2025. That's our opinion. We've looked at this. Check out our video as far as our thoughts, conservative case and more optimistic case as far as where we think Sui is going to go in terms of token price. And we crunch the numbers. We ask how many Sui you're going to need to become a millionaire if you purchase them today at the height of the next bull cycle. But the price is rapidly appreciating, because when we made this video, actually, the price in question was only $2. And like I said, much earlier than that when we alerted our Altcoin Buzz Alpha members to Sui as a terrific project. Ultimately, though, I think it's going to be a good idea to look into the Sui ecosystem coins like Cetus, that's CETUS, and Turbos, and keep buying the dips. DCAing is always a good strategy. Sui memes also still have quite a bit of runway by the looks of it, too. This Altcoin Buzz Spotlight video is sponsored by Sui. By now, you've seen that big post-election pump in Bitcoin all the way to and beyond $90,000. But you may have also noticed Sui, SUI, pumping hard. It has quickly become one of the leading altcoins in this market, and for good reason. Sui is just killing it in all the big sectors it supports, like DeFi. That's where Sui crossed $1 billion in TVL and is almost at $1.5 billion, really in record time. Actually, as I record here, it's already at $1.6 billion. Sui liquidity aggregator Deepbook launching its Deep, that's DEEP token in October. There's the Sui naming service launching its NS token in November with one of the biggest airdrops in the ecosystem so far. And also gaming, where the new Sui Play 0x1 will be the first handheld Web3 gaming device with pre-orders that are through the roof right now. And increased access globally with native USDC and Coinbase deposits and withdrawals means you're getting SUI and USDC no matter where you are in a way that's easier than ever. SUI even has a small but rapidly growing meme coin market for the meme coin lovers out there. If you haven't yet used SUI, then I urge you to come give it a try, and also follow SUI's X account for all the latest updates. Check out some links that we'll include in the description below. Okay, last but not least here, the third altcoin that we're looking at today is Hyperliquid. Ticker is HYPE, HYPE. This is very much the new DeFi kid on the crypto block, and its HYPE token launched and really had a big impact immediately. Its TVL is $2.5 billion, which puts it in the 8th spot across all chains, everything. It actually even bumped SUI down a spot from number 8 to number 9. Hyperliquid is a perps DEX with very low slippage. That's the difference between where you expect the trade to happen and where the real trade price actually is. Now, you can use up to 50x leverage on the platform. I wouldn't recommend that. Just before you use any of the features, make sure you understand what leverage is, how it works, because yes, I'll admit you can make a lot of money, but you can lose it just as easily and in some cases maybe even faster. Perp DEXs are popular all around. However, Hyperliquid seems to take this to a completely new level in a few different ways. For example, let's take a look at the HYPE TGE and its airdrop. There's a max supply of 1 billion tokens, and about 1/3 of those were distributed to the community. I should also point out that Hyperliquid is completely self-funded, and whereas most tokens usually dip pretty violently after an airdrop, HYPE actually showed incredible strength. It launched on the 29th of September, and in a good 2 weeks, it pumped by over 200%. HYPE, HYPE, again, like the other coins on this list, just keeps hitting new all-time highs, seemingly daily. Right now, as I record, it's at $26.37. That's about a 6x from when CoinGecko listed it. Its market cap right now is in the $8.5 billion range, and it already ranks number 28 by market cap. So the momentum for HYPE keeps growing stronger and stronger. It's really living up to its name, arguably. But I would say that it still has a lot of potential from here. It really hasn't seen a significant dip yet, or a dip in any real way. This is a project that was born into arguably just like ideal conditions, right, in terms of bull market conditions. This could be a good entry point. I would expect a correction soon, but as of right now, the project is looking very, very good.